Well, hello everybody, this is Dear Mama Sal on a very pretty Monday morning. Not a cloud in the sky. It's 2 degrees, which is pretty chilly. I think that makes it about 36 in American. But very, very pretty day. Just a quick weekend update. There's people who wanted to joined in the Let's All Sit Together and Watch the Oscars Together broadcast, and we did, and we commented on all the dresses and all the great looking people, and we actually were online for a long time, like 6 hours or something. By the time you did the red carpet and then the actual show itself, it took a long time. But I managed to stay awake. As you can probably hear, I've got a bit of a problem with my throat. I've got some sort of cold thing going on. Not quite sure what it is, but I'm going to do as much as I can today. And if my throat starts to give trouble, then I will not be talking anymore. What I did want to do, though, was talk a little bit to an email I received just before I came to work. And the email was so sad. That I thought about it, and I asked for, I just said that I wouldn't be able to answer it right away because I was on my way to work, but that I would think about it later. But I decided maybe I could talk about it here, because I'm certain this one person who wrote to me isn't the only one that's going to hit this problem. And very basically, she's been in a relationship, unquote, with somebody for most of her life. I mean, since she was in her early teens, by the sound of it. And there still is no commitment. This young man took a job a long way away without even discussing it with her. And she wants to go, you know, and live with him, even though he hasn't invited her. You got the general idea. Okay, so let me tell you from my experience. And I'm not going to tell you what to do because nobody can tell you what to do. It's your life. But my one question of you would be this. If this person has not committed to you in 11 years or whatever it is, what on earth makes you think that he's going to, unless you blackmail him? And when I say blackmail him, which is you're going to force the hand. And, you know, the sad thing was to hear her say, but when we're together, it is so wonderful and so loving and so this, that, and the other. Well, okay, let me tell you my experience. I fell in love with somebody and did exactly what you're talking about. I moved countries. Even though I wasn't directly invited. Why? Because I thought if I got there, he wouldn't be able to resist me. I don't mind admitting that. You know, it would be a no-brainer. And I ended up sort of outstaying my visitor's permit, or just about to, when I realized I'd have to leave the country, and now I was really messed up. So, you know, you look at it and you go, what was I thinking? Now, I can look back today and go, what was I thinking? And it made a lot of sense. But at the time, I was in love. And nothing makes sense when you're in love except to be near the person that you want to be with. And I understand that totally. And so then I went into the States because I had family there, and I visited there. And then the next thing I knew, he decided to marry me. But you know, it wasn't, I don't think it was because he wanted to, necessarily. Because as things turned out, I didn't feel loved. I think I was tolerated, not loved. Even though, you know, I guess he tried very hard to pretend that, but it wasn't true. So there is no way I can recommend that this person, you know, give up their job and go and manipulate the situation, because basically that's what you're doing. You're manipulating it. What I would ask that person to do is to reread the email that they sent me and pretend I've sent it. And I'm pretty sure when you read that with a different mindset, you're going to read exactly what I read from it. And so, but there's part of me that totally says this is not anybody's call but your own. You're an adult. You get to do what you want to do. And you may be bored with your job and want to start another job, but that's not a reason to go and completely pull up stakes and start again. Leave your family and friends, and you know, even if you don't have many, you've got some. But on the other hand, if I hadn't done what I did, I wouldn't be in Canada today, and I certainly don't think I'd be doing Dear Mama Sal today. So there's another part of me that goes, if that's what you decide to do, and even if it doesn't work out, it will dramatically change your life. That's putting it mildly. I ended up divorced or separated within 11 months of my marriage. Heartbreaking stuff. In a country without any family. Obviously, I'd only been here 11 months. I didn't have any deep-rooted friends. I can assure you I went into a severe depression. My only saving grace was I had a job with an extended health plan so that I could get the help I needed. But other than that, I was on my own. Pretty scary stuff. Now, part of me had to make the decision, did I return from whence I came? You know, did I return to Africa and start again there? Or do I stay in Canada? And for some reason, that was a no-brainer for me. I was going to stay in Canada. But if I think back, they were some of the most difficult years of my life. But when I look back with today's eyes, I go, I brought that upon myself. Don't like it, don't like to admit that, and I'm certain there will be other viewers that will have had their experiences that are similar, and maybe they can give some input as well. And I certainly totally understand what it's like to hear the person in your life suddenly decide to take a job doing something completely different without even discussing it with you. I had that happen to me where my husband suddenly decided to do a job that would dramatically change our lives. Dramatically change our lives. And he didn't even discuss it with me. And it was like, hello, what am I, chopped liver? You know, this is going to change our day-to-day life dramatically. And you wouldn't even discuss it. I mean, this could, you know, seriously affect our marriage. And you wouldn't even discuss it with me. Wow. And the reason is he wanted to do it. And he didn't really care whether I agreed with it or not. Fair enough. And so I think in that alone, I got a message. Pretty good one. I didn't feel that it was a partnership. It was about then that I realized I was codependent to a situation. So, as I said, it is your choice to make. Nobody else can make it for you. As long as you're an adult, you get to make this choice. I think you've got to look at, if this person doesn't want to commit to you, and 11 years of experience will tell you that, then I'm really surprised that you think that it might change. What do you have to do to get it to change is probably what you're thinking. And I've got to tell you from my experience, if you've got to do something to make this person want to commit to you, then this is not a person that you're going to be happy with, because it will not be based on the fact that he wanted to commit. It was that you created that. I think you deserve somebody who wants you, wants to be with you, wants to get married and settle down and have kids and do whatever it is that is your dream. Not somebody who you've got to manipulate into this. And I think you've got to look at it at what is it that you need. And again, and I say this a lot to people, if you're still in a job that gives you any sort of benefits where you can get some help on this with a therapist, I'd take it. I'd get myself some help, not him. All right, because what you need to do is to talk this out with a therapist who really has no interest whatsoever in what's going on, but wants to make sure that you make some good decisions. I'm not sure what your friends are telling you, but the chances are they're probably not overly keen, but that's their life. You know, they're going to miss you if you go. So it's a difficult one. I don't envy you the decision. What I do suggest, though, is that you make a decision. It sounds to me like a lot of your life you've waited for other people to make decisions for you. You're an adult now. It's time to make your own decisions. You see, because as long as you're waiting for everybody else to make decisions, you end up being the victim of the decisions they make. So there's part of me that says, you know, pick your head up, look at this situation squarely in the eyes, and decide, this is the decision I'm going to make, right or wrong. And whatever happens, I know I will cope. You know, it may be difficult, as it was for me for a few years, very difficult. But in the end, it worked out to my benefit. And I sometimes think that we are so scared of making the wrong decision that we don't make any decision. And by the way, once you've made one, don't look back. Don't spend your life going, oh, I wish I had not done that. That's a total waste of energy. You did. And I'm a great believer that you sort of make the decision and then you go, all right, I don't know yet why I had to make that decision the way I did, but I did. And that must mean that something in my future will make it all make sense. And I've always lived by that, which is it doesn't make any sense right now. But it doesn't have to, because sometime in the future I'll be able to look back and say that was a good decision. And I would never have met any of you if I hadn't been here. I would never have met Benji and Judy, and I would never have... I'm pretty sure I'd never started Dear Mama Sal with help from Benji. You know, it just wouldn't have happened. I would have been on a totally different course. Would my life have been different? Sure, it would have been different. Would it be better? I can't say that. Maybe. Maybe not. Who knows and who cares? This is my life. I make the decisions to make myself happy, not somebody else. So I look at it and go, whatever decision you make, if there's any way that we can support you, we will do that. I'm sure there are a team of people that would be more than willing to, you know, be there for you and talk to you and give you some input if you have that need. And in terms of that, I just wonder how many other people listening to this particular vlog need to make a decision. How many of you are waiting for somebody else to make a decision so that you can get on with your life? And I would recommend that you look at it and go, is it time for me to make a decision so I can get on with the rest of my life? And stop waiting for the rest of the world to make theirs. And you'll be surprised how often you'll go, yeah, actually it is. Because the thing is this, when you make the decision, you can't keep blaming the other person for keeping you on a string. You see, that's the upside. If you don't make a decision, you can keep blaming the other person for what's going on in your life. But if you make the decision, you can't blame them anymore. Now, the trick is, and that's why I suggest that it's a really good idea to get some help around this if you can, the trick is to make the decision and then live with it. That's a more difficult one to do in some cases. But you look at anybody who is a leader, and they will tell you that they listen to the input, they then make their own decision, and then they stick to it. And they stick to it unless they've got a really good reason to change their mind. It's not that they keep just changing it all the time depending on who's telling them what. It's like, okay, I heard this much input, I've made my decision, this is what's going to happen, and let's go with it. And that is a common denominator of people who are leaders. Such a nice red car. It's been a while since I've seen a nice red car. That has definitely got a very nice engine under the hood. Or bonnet, if you happen to be in England. So, in order to support this person trying to deal with this, I wonder if any of you have got any similar stories where you made a decision and write, you know, what the outcomes were. Can you look back later and go, it wasn't an easy decision, but I made it, and this is what's happened to my life since then. Or have any of you been in a similar circumstance where you have been waiting for somebody to make a commitment? I waited a long time for somebody to make a commitment, and they didn't. So let's have your feedback for anybody who's into this sort of stuff. In the meantime, it's a beautiful day. I'm going to make lots of decisions today, and hopefully it will be a great day. And it will be a great day if I keep my mind on track of making it a great day. And that would be making people smile, living in the moment, working on one task at a time, not overwhelming myself, giving myself a pat on the back when I do something well, taking breaks when I need them. All those things that make life very tolerable. All right, everybody, have a wonderful day. I hope it's a bright, sunshiny day as mine is. This is dear Mama Self saying, look after one another. Bye-bye for now.